So, here we are. We're looking at the naming, ionic, compounds, pages 3 and 4. Now, last time, we did page 2 first, where we have seen something very similar to this before. In Unit 4, in the test that you just did, instead of giving you the actual name of the compound, I gave you the two elements. So I was looking at number 1. Instead of telling you beryllium bromide, you guys did, I told you that you had barium. I think there's 2 R's in barium. There's 1 R in barium, 2 L's. Barium and bromine was what I gave you in unit 4, right? Unit 5, I'm telling you the name of that is beryllium, not barium, nothing to do with berry. Bromide. We did the same thing as before. You identified your cations, your anions. Beryllium is number 1 in our alkaline earth metals in group 2. So we know it forms a cation, Be plus 2. Bromide looks very similar to bromine. So Br, the anion for bromine, is -1, as it is number 3 in our halogens. Group 17, also known as 7A. And like before, if we were given the name, we can easily write out its formula. For every 1 beryllium cation I have, I need to have 2 bromine anions for those charges to cancel each other out, right? So that's going to give me BeBr2. That's what we did last time. Hopefully we feel very comfortable doing that, because that looks very similar to what we did, on the test we just did. That was page 2. Page 1 was I gave you the formula, and from the formula we had to come up with the name. So if I look at, I'm going to choose 1 from page 1. I'm going to choose SRF2. Now, in page 1, we saw the naming scheme for our ionic compounds. We always write the metal first, so the metal full, metal, and then we write the non-metal. But we had a trick with the non-metal. We cut off the end of the non-metal, and we're going to write IDE. Right? That's what we talked about last time, guys, yes? So, SR, which element is SR? Doesn't help that you guys don't have pink periodic tables in front of you. Let's fix that real fast, because I didn't get that far with first period. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jasmine, can you pass one of these down to Beth for me, please? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leave 1 for Zoe. She comes back and pass one down to Beth. What do you wear? If I'm looking at SR, I know that my ionic compounds are always written metal first. So what side of the periodic table am I looking at? Am I looking on the left-hand side or the right-hand side of my periodic table? Define my metals. Left-hand side, right? Where do I find SR in the periodic table? Find on the left, but which column? Do I find in the first column or second column? Second column. Look at your periodic table. Someone shout out the name of it. Strontium. So SRF2 is strontium. And I think I'm spelling that right. I know the F has to be my nonmetal, right? Because I'm talking about binary compounds. I only have 2 atoms. I know Sr, that's my strontium, so what's F going to be? It's fluorine, but we don't write down fluorine, right? Is it OU or UO? I can't remember. OU, I think. Fluorine. What am I going to do to the end of fluorine? I'm going to cross off the INE, and I'm going to add IDE. So SRF2 is strontium fluoride. So remember, I'm always crossing off the end of my nonmetal, and I'm adding the IDE. That symbolizes it's in a compound. So if I looked at, I think we did that one before. No, we did 19, 18. If I look at number 19, NABR, what's my metal? Is it Na or Br? What's the metal? Na or Br? I can call people out if I have to. The Na. What's Na on the periodic table? Sodium. Sodium. What's Br stand for? Bromine, but we don't write down bromine, right? What are we going to do to bromine? Cut off the INE, add the IDE. So it's going to be NABR is sodium what? Bromide. And no matter which ones I look at, I'll see that same pattern. So if I have nitrogen, I'll see nitride. If I have oxygen, that's not going to be oxide. It's going to be OXIDE for oxide. Oh, it helps if I show you on the screen here. If we go over fluorine, we just did that one. That one's going to be fluoride. If I go phosphates, phosphate is phosphide. That's right. Remember how to spell phosphide. PHIDE. If I do sulfur, I'll see sulfide. Same thing. Every time I'm always chopping off the end and I'm adding an IDE. You don't have to memorize every one of the nonmetals. That would be a bit ridiculous. What I do need you to memorize is that I'm going to chop off the end of my nonmetal's name and I'm going to add the IDE. If we got that, then we're golden. Okay? How are we feeling with that one? Feeling okay? We don't have to be perfect today. We just looked at it last class. We're just kind of slightly reviewing it today as we jump into the next part. Let me go into my unit here. That's what I want. That's what I want. There we go. All right. All right. Let's look at page 4. Because now I am writing ionic compounds. I'm still working with ionic compounds. But now I'm using those polyatomic ions. So I'd recommend that you also have that sheet of those 16 polyatomic ions out because I can guarantee no one spent any time reviewing them. I didn't expect you to. I expected you to come prepared for Unit 4 today. So if you didn't have a time to take a look at those polyatomic ions, don't fret it. You got the sheet. That's going to be your helper today. we're going to see that polyatomic ions, if I just take a look at the names, they're very much the exact same. The metal always comes first. But notice I'm going to write the full, excuse me, a naming scheme. The metal always comes first, followed by the polyatomic ion. I don't change the polyatomic ion's name. I'm going to write it as is. So I want to look at one of you guys together. I want to do the example first with you, and then we're going to get the two examples first to show us what I expect from you guys. And then we'll give you some time to actually try a couple of these by yourself. So if I'm looking at the first example, strontium, right? Yep. Hydroxide. Now, if I'm looking at my polyatomic ion sheet, I see my hydroxide right here. It's OH with a -1 charge. So, for number 4, there are two things that we're going to do. So we're on page 4. So page 4. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write out my ions with their charge. So that's going to be my cation and my anion. And then for B, I'm writing out the formula for that compound. Now, we said strontium already is in group 2. It's the 4th member of the alkaline earth metals. So I'm looking at A. I know strontium, Sr, is only going to form a cation of +2. Does that feel familiar? I hope so. If I'm looking at my sheet here, my polyatomic ion sheet, and I'm looking at hydroxide, hydroxide is OH and gives me a -1 anion. So, for here, top page 4, strontium +2, and my anion is OH -1. Now, remember, in order to make my formula, my charges have to cancel each other, right? So my question to you right now, do my charges cancel each other out right now? No. How am I going to cancel my charges out? By adding another strontium ion, cation, or adding another hydroxide anion? I need another hydroxy anion, right? So that means my formula is going to be written one way. I'm going to ask you which way do you think it's going to be written? As either SrOH2 or SR parentheses OH2. Do you think number 1's right or number 2 is right? 2 is the correct answer here. Because remember, I'm using 2 hydroxide anions to cancel out the 2 positive charges on my strontium cation. They're grouped together. Had I written this way, I just have a strontium attached to an oxygen with 2 hydrogens. So that'd be written SrOH. Really, it'd be kind of some weird thing that would not naturally happen. I guess I can scratch it out and put it over here, and that would be more correct. But if I look over here, SrOH, SrOH. If I'm looking structure-wise. That's why we have to be careful when we have multiple polyatomic ions. We got to make sure we have parentheses. But if I only have one anion, I don't need a parentheses. So if I'm looking at the second example, calcium carbonate. So, give me a quick second. What's my cation going to be? calcium carbonate, what's going to be my cation, my positive charge? What's it going to be? Calcium, what's the charge going to be on it? Plus what? Plus 2. Ca plus 2. So A, Ca plus 2. Looking at my sheet, my polyatomic ion sheet, which I have put somewhere. Here we go. I'm going to look up carbonate real fast. I see carbonate, bada-bada-boom, right here. Carbonate, the formula for that is CO3 minus 2. So, CO3 minus 2. Question to you, do my charges cancel each other out? Yeah. Plus 2 minus 2 equals 0. So that means that my formula is just CaCO3. No need for a parentheses. If I only have one, I don't need a parentheses. If I have more than one, I have to have the parentheses. Let's try 2 of them together. Ma'am. Sure. Let's look at number 1 together. Oh, number 1 I see is magnesium. Sulfate. What's the cation in magnesium sulfate? It's magnesium, so what's the symbol going to be? Someone other than Sandy. Sandy's killing it right now. Let's go. Abigail, what's my cation going to be? Give me the symbol in charge. Mg plus 2. Great job. Mg plus 2, right? Magnesium is number 2 in our alkaline earth metals, right next to sodium. Sulfate, I pull from my table, SO4 with a minus 2 charge. Everyone agree that's not sulfate? So what's the formula going to be then? MgSO4. Well, we'll put them a little bit close together. I know I don't have them very next to MgSO4. They're right next to each other. I don't know why I gave them a little bit more spacing than they were supposed to have. That was weird. Let's look at number 2. Number 2 is, let me push that up a little bit. Calcium nitrate. Calcium nitrate. I want you to write out your ions, your cation and anion on your piece of paper, and I want you to write the formula down. I'm going to come around and check you guys and see how you do. Use your periodic table so you can figure out what your cation is going to be, because you can pull that one straight from your periodic table. Your anion is going to be your polyatomic ion. So you want your polyatomic ion sheet out to help you out with this. If you do not have your polyatomic ion sheet anymore, I do have extras. Anybody need an extra one? seeing some positive stuff out there. Positive stuff. All right. So you guys are really good at writing your charges. So for calcium, obviously it's going to be my cation, Ca plus 2. And you guys pulled the formula ion for nitrate, NO3 minus 1. Now remember, my charges have to cancel each other out, right? So I got plus 2 minus 1. Does that equal 0? No, I need another. Do I need another calcium cation, or do I need another nitrate anion? Need another nitrate, right? 2 minus 2. Now we've got our charges to cancel each other out. So that's Ca parentheses NO3 close parentheses 2. Because if you wrote CaNO3 2, I'm not sure what that is because you're giving me 1 calcium, 1 nitrogen, and 32 oxygens. That's a lot of oxygen in one location. So be careful with the parentheses. Make sure if you got more than 1 polyatomic ion to cancel out your charges, that's when you bring the parentheses out. A lot of people either gave me this or they gave me CaNO3. You were close. You got them in the right order, but we just got to make sure that we close it off and we account that there's 2 of them for that calcium. But other than that, you were spot on. So good work on that. I want to give you guys 5 minutes to work on that page 4. If I can get the play. Are you not going to play? There we go. I want you to try to knock out the other 14 of them. Keep in mind that what we don't finish today, you're going to finish for homework. Go somewhere else. Jim. So my clock is still fast. 2:06. We got another 11 minutes before we get for class ends. So I want to look at page 3 with you. And page 3 is where we're going to hit the end of the day with us. So page 3 is very similar to page 1, where I'm going to give you the formula, and you need to come up with the name. So let's look at, we'll do number 1 and number 8. If we have time, we'll do one more afterwards. So when I'm looking at page 3 and I'm given the formula, I'm always going to write the metal name first. So it's always metal name, the metal, and then whatever the polyatomic ion is. I don't need to add an IDE to the end of it because the polyatomic ion indicates that's already in a bond. So if I'm looking at LiSO3, what's my metal? The Li or the SO3? What's Li stand for? Lithium. Lithium. SO3. If I'm taking a look at my sheet, what's SO3 stand for? It's definitely a it's a sulfate or a sulfite. What's SO3? Sulfite. So lithium sulfite. Make sense? Let's look at number 8. Ba, and in parentheses, C2H3O2, close parentheses, and I have 2 of those ions. Which one is going to be the metal? The Ba or the stuff in parentheses? What's the Ba stand for? Barium. Barium. What's C2H3O2? Acetate. Much like before, when we were looking at naming our binary ionic compounds, if I had Li2O, it was written as lithium oxide. No mention that I needed 2 lithium ions for this formula to work. The name was always just going to be the metal, the cation, and the anion. If it's a single element, such as nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, iodine, sulfur, phosphorus, it's always going to be the nonmetal with the end cut off to put "ide." If it is an ionic compound using polyatomic ion, it's always just going to be the metal and then whatever the polyatomic ion is. So it'd be lithium, as we saw before, sulfide. Sulfate, Mr. Wiseman. Sulfite, Mr. Wiseman. Sulfite. Let's do one more, and I'll give you the rest of the time to do them by yourselves. I would like for you to do number 6 by yourself. I'm going to come around and check, see what you got. And then you can use the rest of your time to do the others. I want you to know that the next time I see you, we will have the polyatomic matching quiz, where I chose 11 of them. I give you the name. You need to match it up to the formula. And you're going to be turning this packet into me complete. Go ahead. Yes. Nice. It's all right. Good job, guys. That's going to be aluminum nitrate. No mention that I needed 3 of them, right? Because in ionic compounds, I don't count how many cations or anions I have when I'm naming things. Aluminum. Hopefully I'm spelling this right. Nitrate. I think I'm missing an I. I am missing an I. Boom. So you're going to finish this off. You're going to bring this to me completed next time. If you already have it done and you want to make sure that you get it turned in, you could drop it off in the bin today. You're not hurting my feelings. Make sure that you get it done, though. All 4 pages.